evening and welcome to Champions League Live for another night of quarter-final first leg action. Two huge games for you tonight in Madrid and in Paris as Atletico Madrid take on Borussia Dortmund and Barcelona head to the Parc des Princes to face Paris Saint-Germain this evening. The quarterfinals got off to a roaring start yesterday. 10 goals in our two games yesterday. 4 at the Emirates and 6 at the Bernabeu, where Real Madrid were playing Manchester City. And they finished 3-3, and Arsenal's 2-2 draw with Bayern Munich. Tonight, another 4 teams looking to bid their place in the semi-finals of the Champions League this season, and we will see who will take the first step towards that success. Of course, next week's second legs will be decisive, but this is the one where the home sides tonight will be wanting to take as much advantage as they can into that second leg. The visitors will be hoping to take anything they can from their away games. Along with tonight's 2 Champions League action, as well as 6 championship games from the EFL, as was last night, and we'll keep up to date with everything that happens from around the grounds in the EFL. As the Champions League anthem roars around the Parc des Princes, let's have a look at tonight's teams. PSG and Luis Enrique's side start with Gianluigi Donnarumma in goal. A back 4 of Luca Hernandez, Marquinhos the captain, Luca Beraldo and Nuno Mendes in defence. Vitinha, Fabian Ruiz, Kang In Lee and Ousmane Dembele in midfield, with Marco Asensio and Kylian Mbappe the front 2. A strong bench for PSG as well. Tenas, Navas, Zag, Pereira, Skriniar, Zaire-Emery, Miulu, Soler, Ugarte, Colomwani, Ramos and Barcola all on the bench for Paris tonight. For the visiting Barcelona, Marc-Andre ter Stegen starts in goal. A back 4 of Jules Koundé, Ronald Araujo, Pau Cubarsí and João Cancelo in defence. Frenkie de Jong, Ilkay Gundogan and Sergio Roberto in midfield, with Roberto the captain, and a front 3 of Lamine Yamal, Rafinha and Robert Lewandowski. On the bench for Xavi's side is Peña, Astralaga, Martinez, Fort, Alonso, Christensen, Pedri, Romeu, Lopez, Torres, Felix and Roque. So a strong starting 11 for both teams, strong benches for both teams, but which one of these two will come out the stronger in tonight's first leg? Kick-off from the Parc des Princes is on the way next. Good evening and welcome to the second of 2 nights of quarterfinal first leg action from the Champions League with me, Kevin Ferris. We're at Parc des Princes this evening as PSG take on Barcelona in the first leg of the quarterfinals. And also we're keeping an eye on that game at the Wanda Metropolitano in Madrid, just as we were watching in Madrid last night. We'll keep an eye on the game in Madrid tonight as Atletico Madrid take on Borussia Dortmund in their game in the Wanda Metropolitano in Madrid this evening. So we'll keep you to date with that, plus all 6 championship ties this evening from the EFL. 3 7:45 kickoffs and 3 8 o'clock kickoffs. Let's just run you through those. Birmingham taking on Cardiff, Blackburn visiting Bristol City, Ipswich, who can go top of the championship tonight after Leeds and Leicester both dropped points last night if they win at Portman Road against Watford. Hull against Middlesbrough was a delayed kickoff. It was meant to be 7:45 but delayed due to traffic, so the 15-minute delay there is an 8 o'clock kickoff now between Hull and Middlesbrough. Swansea take on Stoke and West Bromwich Albion take on Rotherham United, already relegated Rotherham this evening, the only side who has been confirmed relegated. So we'll keep you to date with all of those games, plus the 2 Champions League ties. It is going to be another cracker night of footballing action here on LFS, so do stay tuned. We're about to get underway. PSG in their typical navy home kits and Barcelona in their away kit of yellow. Kit. We were expecting a white and blue, but tonight we've got yellow for Barcelona, so blue against yellow in the Parc des Princes. This evening our referee is Anthony Taylor of England, of course, and he gets us underway for tonight's game between these 2 European giants, 2 powerhouses of European football, 2 sides who have absolute quality in abundance in their sides tonight, and both will be hoping to take one step closer to a Champions League semi-final if they can overcome their opposition tonight. It'll be a tough ask. I mean, both of these sides, tough sides to beat, good sides defensively, but not in their best moments, either team, not in their best form at the moment, and that will be the key aspect of tonight's games. Which one of the two will be able to outperform the other, considering where they are in their divisions at the moment. PSG, of course, still top of Ligue 1, and Barcelona behind Real Madrid in La Liga this evening. So we'll see what the happenings are here tonight, and what way both sides kind of try and see each other out and defend each other. And speaking of defending, Barcelona already on the defence. PSG have a free kick on the right hand side. Chance to whip a ball in early for the Parisians. Right footed delivery, flicked on at the front post. That time by Fabian Ruiz, and it bounces behind off Sergio Roberto for a PSG corner. Flicked on by Ruiz, and no one was in there, and it's headed behind for a PSG corner. So early pressure from the home side. The corner to be taken on the right hand side. A lot of bodies at the back post for PSG, including Marquinhos, Mbappe, Marco Asensio as well. The referee Anthony Taylor's just have to sort out a few physical battles in the middle there. Keep an eye on things as it's just got underway in the Wanda between Atletico and Dortmund as the corner comes in, headed away. That time by Barca, and they try and come on the counter-attack, but will be an easy recovery for Kang-in Lee. Starts in that midfield for PSG and took the corner there, dropping it back and giving it back to his defenders. Luca Hernandez. Back to Donnarumma. Fires it up to the left-hand side, looking for Mbappe, who's under pressure from Jules Koundé. Of course, French teammates, and Koundé gets the better of Mbappe that time as Barca go back to Ter Stegen. It goes long. Good commanding header one there by Marquinhos. And then the pass back from Fabian Ruiz back to Donnarumma. Both sides just trying to feel each other out early doors. Figure out what each other is trying to operate as. Try and figure out a way of stopping that. Mendes trying to again target Mbappe, but the misplaced pass helps out PSG as Barca were trying to break it up. And now Lee gives it out to Dembele. Ousmane Dembele blocked off nicely that time by João Cancelo, who got back in coverage and took the challenge, took the ball away from Ousmane Dembele with a challenge there and put it out for a PSG throw. You can certainly see the counter-attacking threat the PSG have here. Down that right-hand side, the space and power of Ousmane Dembele. It's on the ball again, Dembele. An awful pass from him. Barca can't feed it forward with Lewandowski. And then Dembele picks it back up for PSG again. Looking to switch it out to Mbappe, who deft touch takes it down. Got Mendes to his left. Takes that option on the overlap. Back to Mbappe. Trying to fizz it into the box, but easily cleared away by Kubarsi in the middle. Again, Barca not clearing their lines properly. Marquinhos to win it back. Lee switches it out to the left-hand side. The space for Nuno Mendes on this left flank. Cuts it back for Fabian Ruiz. Infield is Mbappe. Back out to Mendes. Takes his man on, taking on Jules Koundé. Cuts it back. Mbappe in the box. Looked to strike it, but struck it with the outside of his right boot and it curled away from goal and behind for the Barcelona goal kick. But you could see the enticing of PSG there. They tried to entice the challenge of Jules Koundé down the right-hand side, and really nice work by Nuno Mendes to chop back, cuts it into the box for Kylian Mbappe, and he just mishit the ball. Oh, ball in behind here. Oh, Donnarumma. Fantastic sweeper keeping, because one long ball from Barcelona and PSG were at 6s and 7s at the back there. Just see it again. It's one long ball by Ter Stegen straight up the pitch. And PSG let it bounce. It runs in behind, and it was Rafinha that made the run. And luckily in time for PSG, Donnarumma comes sliding out. He did get a connection to it, and it ends up going behind for a goal kick after that moment. But dangerous there. They let that bounce, PSG, and it could have found themselves in a very difficult position early on. With a bit of lax defending there, could have found themselves behind, but they get away with it. Here's Lee. Now down the right-hand side is Dembele. Ousmane Dembele up against Cancelo again. Dembele cuts it back. Lee at the edge of the box. Lee with his shot. Straight at Marc-Andre Ter Stegen. And an easy catch for the Barcelona keeper. As Fabian Ruiz is penalised for a foul here. So a free kick will go the way of Barcelona. A goal in Madrid this evening. And an early goal for the Madrid side. It is Atletico Madrid that have taken the lead. And Borussia Dortmund trying to push for a top 4 place in the Bundesliga. They're doing well as of recent, Borussia Dortmund, but find themselves behind inside 4 minutes at the Wanda Metropolitano. And it is Rodrigo de Paul who's given the home side the lead there. So Atletico leading by 1-0 after just 4 minutes. We saw early goal in Madrid last night when Manchester City took the lead against Real Madrid from a free kick, but Rodrigo de Paul has given Atletico the lead in Madrid tonight. So 1-0 there. Still goalless here in Paris. PSG have had a few half chances, but nothing of real grave concern for either defence so far. That Mbappe shot is the only shot of the game. Update from the Championship for you. That delayed game between Hull and Middlesbrough. What a start for Middlesbrough. 1-0 up inside 4 minutes for them. Emmanuel Latte-Lath putting Middlesbrough 1-0 up. Hull on the chase for a top 6 place. Middlesbrough also on the chase. If they win tonight, Middlesbrough, they would find themselves just 4 points behind Norwich in 6th. Middlesbrough in 7th. With 4 games to go in the league. So coming to a tight close, and Middlesbrough not ruling themselves out of a playoff place. They find themselves 1-0 up at the MKM Stadium this evening. Poor kick by Ter Stegen, but nice work by Jules Koundé to hold off the PSG man. Down the right hand side from Yamin Lamal. And in the run, the pressure. There, Beraldo under pressure. It does get the clearance away. But Yamal picks it back up for Barcelona. On the right hand side. Drives in field. Looking to feed it forward. But Marquinhos is there to break it apart and get PSG on the break. Here's a Dembele running behind. Mbappe's in the middle. Dembele, can he find him? Dembele still trying to squeeze it through and puts it out for the corner. Nice running behind from Ousmane Dembele. Offered the option. Nice ball over the top, down the right-hand side, and then the block there. It's good recovery block there by Pau Cubarsí to put it out for the PSG corner. But again, that counter-attacking threat, that pace in behind from Ousmane Dembele really had Barcelona running back towards their own goal with some pace. And they have another corner. The Parisians lead to take again. Left-footed in swing and delivery. Whipped in. Headed away again by Lewandowski this time. Here's Vitinha. Now to Lee. Trying to come back in field. Has to go back to Vitinha. He goes all the way back to Luque Hernandez in defence for the Parisians, who are all inside the Barcelona half. All the outfield players. Trying to apply the pressure. That's the thing about PSG. They've got a couple of strings to their bow in that format, is that they can cause you huge problems on the counter-attack, but because they're so used to dominating the ball and having control of games in their domestic league, they are much better. They're also pretty good at breaking you down if you sit a bit deeper. Here's Dembele again. Nice break of the ball. Here's Asensio from distance, but straight at Ter Stegen, who had his number all day long there. Knew exactly what Asensio was trying to do. Made it easier for himself, Ter Stegen, just to step across. And the strike with some verve from Marco Asensio, but a firmly easy enough save for Ter Stegen to make early on there. Goal in between Bristol City and Blackburn at Ashton Gate, and it's Bristol City that take the lead. It's Tommy Conway. After Blackburn, a lot of Blackburn pressure, Bristol City go up the other end and score and open the scoring there. So Bristol City 1, Blackburn Rovers 0 in the Championship. Couple of stars in the game tonight. Ronaldinho's here in a footballing sense. As a Formula 1 driver of Pierre Gasly here this evening as well. French Formula 1 driver. So stars in the Parc des Princes this evening to watch this huge battle between these two huge football clubs. And it could be, if PSG end up being knocked out of this, it could be Kylian Mbappe's last Champions League game at the Parc des Princes this evening. Of course, if Barcelona go on to progress from this, so with Mbappe, of course, leaving the club in the summer, this could be his last home Champions League game as a PSG player, before he goes to play for Barcelona's biggest rivals in Spain and Real Madrid, we're predicting. Good patience from PSG there, and now Mbappe's on the break. Nicked the ball back, and Anthony Taylor let it run for a challenge. Mbappe trying to cut inside, blocked off that time. Falls to Lee. Now Dembele. Dembele looking to sustain the pressure, and his block was cleared away by Jules Koundé. There's a player down, the original player that was kind of challenged for Barcelona was Rafinha, and he did go down from a challenge there by Luca Beraldo, but he probably got the ball and then touched the leg maybe of Rafinha. I mean, I'm not too certain. There's maybe not very much in that, and I think Andy Taylor was right to continue and allow PSG the breakaway, because there was no foul in there, I don't believe, but he's felt a bit of pain here, Rafinha, and is still holding his kind of shin at this moment in time. So there is a stoppage in play, which gives me time to tell you, don't forget, more European action this midweek. Tomorrow night we're at Anfield as Liverpool take on Atalanta in the Europa League tomorrow at 8 o'clock, with 3 British sides involved in action tomorrow night for you. Liverpool against Atalanta, West Ham United heading to Bayer Leverkusen, the German side yet to be beaten this season, 42 games unbeaten for Xabi Alonso's side. They face West Ham in the Bayer Arena, and then as well Aston Villa are in action against Lille tomorrow night at Villa Park. So 3 British sides in action. We'll keep you updated with all of those, but our key game, Liverpool-Atalanta from Anfield tomorrow at 8 o'clock. So Rafinha back to his feet after receiving a quick bit of treatment after that painful kind of challenge, but the referee's just going to allow the drop ball for PSG here. So he stuck to his decision of no foul, and I think he was correct in that decision. Anthony Taylor. Here's Beraldo. Cross to Luca Hernandez. Marquinhos. Down the right hand side is Dembele. Takes a touch in field. Vitinha can't recover it, but Dembele gives it away to Lewandowski. He's taking up the option on the left hand side. Linking up nicely there, 1-2, but Cancelo couldn't gather the ball, and it runs out for a PSG throw off Ilkay Gundogan, both former Manchester City players, Gundogan and Cancelo. Marquinhos trying for the long diagonal to Mbappe, away by Koundé again, but Barcelona at the moment, they just don't have that physicality in midfield. At times when those balls are coming into midfield, PSG have got the better hold of them, and they're winning those battles a lot more than the visiting side. And here comes Mbappe down the left hand side. Koundé's got his work cut out here. Mbappe cuts in field, squares it across, finds Dembele on the edge of the box. Dembele with the ball back in. It takes a deflection of Kubarsi again, and it will be another PSG corner. Koundé's seeing him on the inside. But even if you do see him on the inside, Mbappe is much more a threat as well. He can still pass it across, and he can still try and curl it with the right foot. And even if he takes you on the outside, he can still beat you for pace. As the corner comes in, straight into Ter Stegen's hands there. Pretty tame corner. That time from Lee. But again, you know, Mbappe, and they were talking about it before kickoff in the feed here. I was just listening in, and they talked about, you know, it doesn't take a genius to figure out the qualities of Kylian Mbappe. Watch him for 10-20 minutes, and you'll know he's an absolute superstar of a footballer. But the point is that defensively, he is so hard to stop that you have to at least double up on him defensively to try and stop him, because you have both options. And here he is again, making that run in behind. It's just a ball a bit too quick for him that time. And his international manager watching on, Didier Deschamps, in the crowd this evening, watching Kylian Mbappe, of course, ahead of the Euros this summer. I mean, there's no doubt he will be going to Germany in the summer. He'll probably be watching Jules Koundé as well, Frenchman. Ousmane Dembele as well. A couple of players. Luca Hernandez. Each time I look along the team sheet, just see another one. Another French player. They've got absolutely vast amounts of quality, the French side. Absolutely sensational. That's why they're one of the favourites for the Euros in the summer. And Mbappe, I'm sure, in the summer will be firmly keen on lifting another trophy for his international side. We'll see if he can. I'm sure he'll play a big part in it if France do go on to win the Euros in the summer. He will be a huge player in that, in the tournament for them. Barcelona again trying with the build-up play, but PSG there to nick it away, and nice run, stepped in nicely was Vitinha. Finds Mbappe on the left. Mbappe cuts it back. Edge of the box for Lee. Can't take it down. Tries to adjust. Vitinha's battling. And then they clear it away eventually, Barcelona. But again, it's one of those. They play the ball forward, Barca, and they just give it away. I mean, they can't. They've got nobody to hold it up. And I mean, I was expecting Lewandowski to try and offer that physicality up front for them. But he's dropping deeper. He's not really that kind of focal point at the moment for Barca when they're trying to pop it up top. And PSG are just nicking it away time and time again. Not struggling to keep the ball, and I'm sure Xavi will be pretty frustrated with the fact that his side haven't been able to get that control in midfield. Here's a nice run by Nuno Mendes down the left-hand side, trying to turn Koundé inside out. What a run! Oh, Mendes blocked off eventually there. Just turned him inside out there and completely nutmegged it, Jules Koundé. And a good track and back challenge there by Mendes. Back on Lamine Yamal, putting the challenge in. Lovely challenge by Mendes there. Absolutely fantastic on the attacking front. Found himself in a lot of space down the left-hand side. Just breaks into the box, and Yamal and Koundé trying to double up on him. He sends it through and nutmegs Koundé, breaks past the challenge, and then tries to take the strike. Strikes it with his left boot, and Araujo covering over blocks it off in the end. But my goodness me, lovely skill by Nuno Mendes to break into that area and find the space to try and attack that Barca side. They're doubling up on any PSG player at that side. Here's nice work by Lewandowski. Good hold-up play. For the first time, really. Nice run here. The shot from Rafinha's behind. Goal kick. But again, the first real time we've seen Lewandowski get involved in play, dropping deeper, linking it up, using his physicality to hold it up, and then played a lovely through ball for Rafinha, who'd made a nice run, and then Marquinhos battling with him. And it does take a block. It will be a corner to Barcelona, actually. It takes a deflection off Marquinhos, who put the challenge in on the Rafinha shot, and will be a Barcelona corner. Their first of the game. Gundogan to take. Left-hand side, right-footed in swinger. Whipped in, headed on, off the line. Goodness me, Gundogan again. Now Yamal. Just wide. Goodness me, it's off the line there. Had to say it again, but goodness me. Beautifully whipped corner by Gundogan, and I think it was Lewandowski that got the header. Haven't seen a replay of it just yet. They're going to take another one here, so we'll see the replay of the first one in a moment. They have another corner. Gundogan to take it again. Right-footed, whipped in again. Away this time by Mendes. Araujo tries to keep it alive. Battling was Vitinha, and then the strike from Gundogan is just wide of the left post. But we just see the replay of the first one. Whipped in, and it was Robert Lewandowski just pipped up with a header, and it just looked it was looping into the net. Beaten pass was Donnarumma, and Nuno Mendes off the line with an absolute incredible stop to get it away. That was better physicality from Lewandowski, but poor from Donnarumma. Came for it, got absolutely nowhere near it, and almost could have had his head in his hands there. They almost could have conceded. But good defending, or good kind of tracking from Nuno Mendes to stay alert and clear the ball off the line. That's better from Barcelona. There are a few better moments, a few kind of combinations where they're finding the space. They're trying to apply the pressure. A couple of ideas, and Robert Lewandowski, of course, massively involved. I mean, we watched a Bayern side last night, an absolute goal machine up front for them last night, of course. In Harry Kane, 13 goals in 28 games this season for Lewandowski. In that game against Atletico Madrid, a goal and 2 assists in La Liga. In his one of his most recent games, so certainly at the age of 35, still offering the highest quality of attacking threat. Barca getting a bit more of the ball now in midfield. Here is Rafinha. Switches it out to the right. Finds Yamal in space. Yamal comes in field. Finds Gundogan. Lays it off to Lewandowski. Quick football. Roberto. Now Rafinha! Lovely save by Donnarumma to parry it wide. But Rafinha with an absolute rocket off the floor. Left boot. And had Donnarumma diving to his left, and he made that save with his left hand to parry it wide. But a nice strike by Rafinha from distance forces Donnarumma into a good save early doors here. Good work again from Barca, working it better in midfield. Those nice, quick, intricate passes. Here's Rafinha to take this corner on the right-hand side. In swinger, left boot towards the front post and away by Vitinha that time. But again, PSG not able to break out as Barca keep the pressure on. Here's Rafinha again. Left-footed delivery this time to the back post, and Donnarumma made himself a massive factor in that as he punched it away. Cancelo to keep the pressure on. Now a right-footed cross. Headed away that time by Hernandez as Mbappe tries to get PSG going forward. He does well in his battle. Here's Mbappe. Time and space on the ball now, but the referee's going to pull it back for a free kick here. Anthony Taylor. Jules Koundé, the man, fouled. I mean, I don't know about that. It's accidental from Mbappe. He's just trying to hold off his man. And I don't think it was intentional whatsoever. I mean, we've seen that last night in the game between Arsenal and Barcelona about holding off the man and inadvertently catching him. But again, maybe PSG will feel a bit hard done by for that decision, but Anthony Taylor didn't give it initially, waited a few seconds and then eventually gave the free kick against PSG. Another free kick for Barca. Whipped in. Curling towards goal. Gundogan gets the bounce. Gundogan keeps it alive. Yamal, heavy touch, and PSG can clear their lines, but Barca applying the threat and win it back. De Jong. Now out to Yamal. On the right, back to Koundé. Now back to Araujo. And a fairly even game so far from what we've seen. Both sides showing attacking threat. I mean, we look at the early stats. 7 attempts for PSG, 5 for Barcelona, both 2 shots on target. The possession's not much in between it, 54% for PSG, 46% for Barcelona. 3 corners apiece. It's a fairly even affair so far. So a fairly even opening to this first leg of the quarter-final. Cancelo with a poor effort there. João Cancelo saw the space open up, but probably should have gone against shooting there because he hit the advertising hoardings well away from goal, so no real threat there. Updates from the Championship. It is now 2-0 to Bristol City. Tommy Conway opened the scoring. He extended Bristol City's lead from the penalty spot, so they lead 2-0 against Blackburn. It's still Middlesbrough who lead Hull by a goal to nil. Swansea have just taken the lead against Stoke. Liam Cullen with the goal to put the Swans in front against Stoke City. And West Brom have taken the lead. Brandon Thomas-Asante with the goal against already relegated Rotherham, and that goal would take them 4 points above Norwich in 6th. West Brom, who are in 5th at the moment. Still goalless, by the way, in the games between Birmingham and Cardiff, and Ipswich and Watford in their respective games. And still Atletico Madrid 1, Borussia Dortmund 0 after just 25 minutes. Here's Ruiz for PSG. Down the right-hand side is Dembele, trying to make the run infield. Cuts back, finds Vitinha. Goes back to Marquinhos. Cross to Ruiz. Now finds Lee. Dembele. Vitinha. Marquinhos. PSG just passing it around here at the middle, waiting for an opening. Mbappe's come very central at the moment. Very central. Nice move here for Dembele. Lovely footwork. Dembele gets to the byline, cuts it back. And a nice block there in the middle to deny the ball to Mbappe. But he gets it here on the edge of the box on the right-hand side now, Mbappe. Trying to drive himself. Cuts it back for Lee. Lee in space with his shots. Rebound. Comes out to Mbappe, who goes down. And he's gone down, but the flag has gone up against him. They will check VAR, of course, but the offside flag goes up against Kylian Mbappe, who felt he was fouled in the box there. Mbappe cuts it infield, finds Lee in a bit of space in the box. Left-footed strike, got a real power behind that one from Kang In Lee. And then the rebound from the Ter Stegen save bounces back out to Mbappe, and Mbappe tries to take on his man, takes the strike, and he felt he was fouled. But then, just as the whistle goes, Anthony Taylor holds his hand in the air to say offside against Mbappe. And VAR checking. Ooh, João Cancelo. Just see it again here. Oh, I think that's a penalty. I think that's a red card at the very least. But the check is over. Goodness me. I have to say that's a dangerous one for... That's dangerous from João Cancelo. I think he's lucky there. I'm actually in shock it took that little amount of time, because we just seen the first replay of it, and you just see Mbappe trying to take the touch away from his man, and the way Cancelo comes in, his boot is so high in the air, and it does make a kind of click, or kind of a quick clip of Mbappe, and with the height of that foot, I'm surprised it wasn't more of an affair, but VAR quickly clearing that one as nothing more than just a goal kick. Which I'm kind of surprised about, to be honest. And maybe we can get a kind of still image of it at half-time if we can have a look at that. But, you know, I'm a bit confused about that one. Maybe you can have your say in the chat if you're watching along with the game with me at the moment. Have your say in what you think the decision is. We'll have a chat about it at half-time as well. But a good balance in this game. A steady game so far. Both sides kind of seeing each other, kind of cutting each other out, really, at the moment. 30 minutes gone inside the Parc des Princes. Both teams have had their opportunities. Neither have found the net. in the first half an hour. Mendes, Vitinha. Across to Marquinhos. Dembele in space on the right hand side. Here is Ousmane Dembele. Cuts it back to Vitinha. Looking to lift it into the box. Away by Koundé. Now Mendes to pick it up for PSG. Mbappe on the left hand side. Looking to work it into the box. Linking up with Ruiz, and then Mbappe couldn't receive it back as Gundogan with a breakaway. Trying to get them on the counter. What a ball. Good block by Marquinhos. Had his man marked all the way. Was Rafinha there. Oh, per pass by Donnarumma. Here's Yamal. Running into the box. Chipping it across. Too high for Gundogan, but he will recover it. On the left hand side. Per pass by Donnarumma there. Donnarumma seems a bit nervy at the moment. One or two nervy kind of situations that he's put himself in, really. And Barcelona have gone all the way back to Ter Stegen here, by the way, at the moment. Goal at the MKM Stadium in the Championship. It is Hull 1, Middlesbrough 1. Hull have got their equaliser in that first half. Jaden Philogene with the equaliser, set up by Louis Coyle to level things against Middlesbrough, which now brings Middlesbrough back down to 9th, Hull on 10th. Both sides find themselves a good 6 points off Norwich in 6th at the moment, but Hull will have a game in hand on the teams in and around them at the moment, so still all to play for from their point of view. Here's Frenkie de Jong. I haven't said his name much tonight. It's been more kind of fast-paced stuff from Barca. I haven't needed their kind of defensive midfielder as much, or they haven't seen as much of him. They work it out to the right-hand side. Here's Yamal. Lamine Yamal. Back to Koundé. Roberto. Lovely link up. Here's Rafinha. Now Lewandowski in behind. Rafinha on the run. PSG confusing themselves, but the ball couldn't be kept into his grasp there by Donnarumma. And it'll be a Barca corner. Again, PSG look nervy at the back again. I mean, look at Hernandez and Jules Koundé, or Marquinhos, sorry, get in a mix-up between each other. It bounces back to Donnarumma, and he just can't grab it and deny it from going across the byline. Just a bit nervy moments for PSG in those areas. Defensively, not the brick wall, the solid wall. There's a stoppage here for a possible penalty. A potential penalty check. And the check is over quite quickly there by the VAR. And Taylor just took a delay for a moment or two. Second or two. But it will be a corner to Barcelona, nothing more. Gundogan again to take. Right-footed. Nice smart one. Rafinha! Blocked. Lots of bodies in the way, but it was a smart one. Short played corner right to the edge of the box. Rafinha completely unmarked. And he just tried to strike it true and hard. And it was straight at a PSG player, as PSG on the break there. Taken down. And it's Sergio Roberto that will be getting a booking for a free kick. And he misses the second leg now, Roberto, with that yellow card, which will be a disappointment. The Barca captain will not be involved in the game at their home stadium next week in the return leg. So Roberto, the first man to be booked tonight here in this one. There we go. What a headline. The Barca captain will not be involved for the second leg no matter what. Very high tempo, quick moving game. When they get it up, these two teams can get going pretty quickly. The pace and the power in these two sides, that's absolutely wonderful to watch, but no output as of yet from either team, and they're not lacking that attacking quality. Far from it. Absolutely flooded with attacking threat, these two sides. Maybe last night's games kind of gave us a false sense of the fact that this was the way the Champions League was going. Just pure goals. Last night, 10 goals in those two games last night. And speaking of goals, let me just tell you, we have another one in Madrid this evening. Another goal. And it's really turning from bad to worse for Borussia Dortmund. It is now 2-0 to Atletico Madrid. A second goal there, Samuel Lino with the goal to double Atletico's lead in Madrid this evening. So it is Atletico Madrid 2, Borussia Dortmund 0 after with only 32 minutes gone. Just having a chat while we're the break and play here in Paris. Just to bring you up to date with the stats from that game in Madrid this evening. 8 shots from Atletico, 4 on target. Borussia Dortmund, 1 shot, 0 on target. Dortmund having more of the ball, but Atletico absolutely killing them on the counter, it seems, with 2 lovely goals from De Paul and Lino to give them a 2-goal advantage, the home side. Oh, what a lovely ball. Donnarumma's come for it, missed it, open net. And Rafinha to finish it off for Barcelona, who take the lead in Paris. And Gigi Donnarumma comes flying out, cannot get the ball away, and leaves an empty net for Rafinha to put the Barca ahead. Rafinha, who's looked a real threat for Barca tonight so far. A couple of chances, and he finally finds the net after 37 minutes. One ball again, up the way through the middle. Simple enough for Barca, too passive from PSG. Yamal on the right, absolute killer of a ball with a left boot. Curling with it outside of his left boot, whips it across. Gigi Donnarumma came for it, tried to deny Lewandowski, and in doing so, left an empty net, couldn't get to it. It pummels its way back out to Rafinha, and with a lovely cool finish with his right, inside of his right boot, curls it into the net and gives Barcelona the advantage, and they take the lead. But Gigi Donnarumma, who's looked nervy in the early stages of tonight's game, has again failed to really save PSG there. PSG 0, Barcelona 1. Goodness me. Goodness me. And I said about it, how PSG looked nervy in those moments in defence already this evening. With early pressure from PSG, but they couldn't take the advantage. Barca probably being the better side the last 10 minutes or so. They've got control in that midfield. They've finally found their passing lanes. They finally found their rhythm, Barcelona, after a poor start to the game. They were coming under a lot of early pressure, but they've found their way. They've grown into the game, and they've now taken the advantage from their attacking threat. What a ball by Yamal, by the way, initially, to really cause that panic from Donnarumma in the box. And the run from Lewandowski was pinpoint perfect. And then Donnarumma's palming of the ball straight to Rafinha, who finished it off into an empty net. Lovely work from Barcelona. And Lamine Yamal with an absolute killer of a delivery. He's Araujo in the cover there for Barca, as PSG tried to force one in behind for Asensio. Blocked off again, back to Ter Stegen, who goes long. Cancelo with a flick on. Marquinhos with a header, but brought down by Lewandowski. Back to Cancelo. Lovely chop back. Into midfield. Finds De Jong. Now De Jong into space. Finds Koundé. Koundé with the infield run. Barca on the brick again. Here's Yamal. Down the right hand side. Blocked off that time by Mendes. Koundé back to Frenkie De Jong. And now Kubasi to Araujo, who has to go back to Ter Stegen. But again, nice crisp passing from Barcelona there. Really nice movement, finding the spaces in and around PSG. And they've really, that's what I'm saying, they find those spaces in the midfield. They've got control of that midfield area really in the last probably 10 minutes or so, 10-15 minutes. And that's making the difference, as they've won another battle here. Here's Yamal again. Lewandowski in the box looking for the cross. Yamal with a delivery. Lewandowski taken well wide here though, on the left flank. Still a threat. Finds Cancelo. Back to De Jong. Now Roberto. Out wide to Yamal. Koundé has to come back infield to Araujo again. 5 minutes plus additional time in the first half. PSG 0, Barcelona 1. here in Paris. Rafinha with the goal to give the visitors the lead. And Barcelona, the last time they came here in 2021 in the Champions League, they drew 1 each. And that time round, Leo Messi was playing for Barcelona in 2021. Here they come again, and Cancelo with a tame shot effort again goes wide. 1-1 it finished on the night. PSG won by 5 goals to 2 on the night. That time round, Barca absolutely destroyed PSG on the night, but Keylor Navas, who was the goalkeeper at the time, who's on the bench tonight, made 9 saves against Barcelona that night. So, absolute cracker of a goalkeeping performance. The last time Barca came here and could only score 1. They've already scored 1 tonight. This time round, though, it's not a second leg where they're already 4-1 down on aggregate coming into the night. That was the case the last time they were here. The last time they won on this stadium was back in April 2015, when they won by 3 goals to 1 in in the quarterfinals. The first leg of the quarterfinals against PSG. Here's Mbappe though in the box. Back to Lee. Patience from Barca in the defensive areas, not aggressive. Waiting for their moment. Mbappe. Now Dembele. Mbappe on the right now. Here is Dembele trying to work it into the box. Blocked off again by the Barcelona defence, who can carry it away through João Cancelo, who's under pressure from Mbappe. Dembele trying to close them in. And then Dembele wins it back. But Barcelona had coverage in there and clear it away. And now they're on the brick themselves. Here's Yamal. It's a 3-on-2 it seems. Here's Yamal. Takes his man on. Blocked off that time. Good defending by PSG. But as I was saying, Barcelona's last win on this ground, as I said, April 2015 in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. And some throwbacks. Neymar and Luis Suarez with the 3 goals on that night. Here's Mbappe in behind. Hint of offside. Flag does eventually go up as he has the shot, which is well wide. Barca 3-1 up on that. 1-3-1 on that night. And Barca went on to win the competition that year after they beat PSG in the quarterfinals. They then faced Bayern Munich in the semis and then beat Juventus in the final in 2015. That was the last time that Barcelona won the competition. Was the last time that they beat PSG in the quarterfinals. So could be a good omen playing PSG in the quarterfinals. And if they go on to win, they could go on to win the competition. Let's find out. Let's wait and see. Here's Dembele though. Lee. Left footed cross into the box. Too low to get past Araujo, who headed away. Ruiz trying to keep them on the attack and wins the throw in. Does Fabian Ruiz. Have to say, PSG have probably battled their way into more attacking areas the last couple of minutes. Came swinging back and forth. PSG seemingly ending the half the better of the two sides, but still find themselves by a 1-0 down here in this first leg of the quarterfinals. Still 2-0 in Madrid, where Atletico are leading Borussia Dortmund, by 2-0 there in the 43rd minute in that one. So here's Lewandowski, Lamine Yamal looking for the flick. Now into the box. Koundé did find Lewandowski, but was in an offside position there. Robert Lewandowski. Goal at the MKM Stadium between Hull and Middlesbrough. And Hull have turned it around. They lead 2-1 against Middlesbrough now. Jean-Michel Seri with the goal to turn it around for Hull, who lead by 2-1. And all the rest of the scores still all the same elsewhere in those ones. Mendes. Back to Beraldo. Across to Luque Hernandez. Beraldo again. Into midfield. Nice work by Vitinha. Plays it off to Marquinhos. Now Asensio. He's been a bit quiet in this first half. Marco Asensio had one shot from distance, but that's been his only probably attacking threat or attacking opportunity. Here's Lee on the right flank. Lee still going into the box, held off. Back to Vitinha. It's good work from Barca. They get bodies back and crowd it out pretty quickly, denying the PSG the opportunities or the space even. Again, another cross comes in, but Barca deal with it. And just calmly and coolly as you like, just play around and get it away. Cancelo now, ball in behind. Rafinha on the run. Hernandez on the cover, but Rafinha beats past him, and he's got bodies to come forward. Rafinha across to Yamal. Lewandowski's in the box. Yamal just overhit the cross. Behind for the goal kick. What an opportunity. Probably should have went himself there, Rafinha. Beats past Luka Hernandez at the byline, tight angle. Played it back across to Yamal, who was running into the box. Lewandowski fairly free, but the delivery was not one of his best from Lamine Yamal there. Probably Rafinha, as I was saying, probably should have went himself. Into the last minute of 2 added minutes at the end of this first half. Here at the Parc des Princes. And at the moment, Barcelona still leading. Here's Jules Koundé. Asensio tracking back, trying to battle. And Koundé will get the free kick for that foul on him by Marco Asensio. So free kick for Barca will probably be the last action of the half. The free kick in behind again. Away by PSG, and then Barca brought it back down on the floor. But that is half time. Anthony Taylor calls to an end the first half. It's been even enough, I have to say, in this first 45. I think Barca with a few bits of pace on the counter-attack. Both sides having a couple of opportunities. It's been fairly even. But I think Barca made the most of their attacking threat, made the most of their dominant period of the first half, and that is why they lead at the break. Half-time at the Parc des Princes, it is PSG 0, Barcelona 1. Half-time analysis from the Parc des Princes in this one, plus updates from the game in Madrid as well on the way next. Do stay with us.
Catch me if I fall.
Welcome back to Champions League Live this Wednesday night. The quarterfinal first legs and 2 more games for you tonight. Both have just hit the half-time whistle here this evening in Paris and in Madrid, where PSG are trailing by a goal to nil to Barcelona. Rafinha with a nice finish just towards the end of that first half, giving Barca the lead, and a dominant first half in terms of Atletico on the break. Very threatening on the counter this evening, with Borussia Dortmund having more of the ball, much more of the ball, but having very little in terms of their attack and outlet. Madrid fairly the opposite. Rodrigo de Paul and Samuel Lino with both goals for Atletico Madrid, who have a 2-goal advantage at the break. But only a quarter of the way through these ties, and still a long way to go, including a second leg as well in Barcelona and in Dortmund respectively, to come next midweek, next Tuesday. Remember, 6 days from now, the second legs of these two ties take place. And at half time, we do have a definitive leader in those two ties, both Spanish sides having the lead in their respective ties. In the Championship in the EFL this evening, 6 games for you, all of which just hit the half-time whistle. 3 7:45 kickoffs, which should be getting back underway fairly shortly, and the 3 8 o'clock kickoffs, which have just hit the half-time whistle in the last few moments. Bring you up to date with what's going on at St Andrews this evening. Birmingham taking on Cardiff City. It is goalless between those two sides. Birmingham, who are just above the relegation zone, with a draw this evening would take them out of the relegation zone. They were in the bottom 3 at the start of play tonight. A draw would take them out of the bottom 3 on goal difference above Huddersfield, who dropped to defeat last night. Huddersfield, they play Cardiff. Cardiff in midfield have nothing to play for. It's half time there. Second half underway between Bristol City and Blackburn. Bristol City 2-0 up against Blackburn. 2 goals from Tommy Conway in the first half. His 24th minute goal and a 32nd minute penalty from Tommy Conway gives the home side, the Robins, the 2-goal lead. 2-goal advantage against Blackburn Rovers. Bristol City in mid-table. Blackburn could find themselves dragged back into the relegation battle with 4 games to go. They lose tonight, Blackburn, and results go against them. They could find themselves just 3 points above the drop zone, so not clear of a relegation battle themselves. The other end of the table, though, Ipswich looking to go top tonight, but a droppage of points would not send them top of the table. It would only put them back in second place, which they were toppled if Leeds' result last night. A draw against Sunderland at home for Leeds took them back into the top 2, but a draw for Ipswich tonight would put them back in the top 2. The second half's just started there at Portman Road. A win for Ipswich tonight, as I mentioned, would put them back top of the championship, but they're drawing at 0-0 with Watford at the moment, but having all the play so far, Ipswich, but no goal to show for it. Second half on the way there. Half times in the 8 o'clock kickoffs. Hull 2, Middlesbrough 1. Hull City, of course, both sides making that late chase for a top 6 place. The winner tonight will surely have a massive advantage in that. Hull currently winning would be 4 points behind Norwich in 6th, but with a game in hand over the Canaries above them, so they could have just a 1 point difference between the two if they win this game tonight and the game in hand. Middlesbrough, who also would have found themselves 4 points behind Norwich, they wouldn't have the game in hand if they come back and win that one. A draw would help neither. It is Hull 2, Middlesbrough 1 in that one. Middlesbrough took the lead from Emmanuel Latte-Lath inside 4 minutes, and Jaden Philogene and Jean-Michel Seri have put Hull in front. Swansea leads Stoke at half-time in that one. Liam Cullen with the only goal of the first half to give the Swans the lead. These two sides, Swansea definitely will find themselves with a win tonight. 7 points clear of the drop, fairly comfortable surely going into the final 4 games. Stoke not so. A defeat tonight for Stoke would see them just 3 points above the relegation zone. A win would be huge for them. This evening, Swansea want to take themselves well clear of that. They win tonight, they will be, as I mentioned, 7 points clear at the start of play tonight, just the 4 points clear of relegation, so neither of these two sides out of the water yet. At half-time at the Hawthorns, I mentioned that West Brom had gone 1-0 up against Rotherham in that first half. Rotherham already relegated, of course. They've now doubled that lead. Brandon Thomas-Asante with the goal to put the Baggies in front in that one, and John Swift from the penalty spot doubling West Brom's lead. They lead by 2-0 against Rotherham in that one. A win for West Brom would take them 4 points above Norwich. Norwich are in 6th, West Brom will be in 5th, and they would be 4 points above Norwich on the same number of games. Right, those are your championship games. Exciting tonight. Quite a few number of goals in the first halves in those games. 3 goals in the first halves of our Champions League fixtures tonight, where Atletico Madrid 2 up against Dortmund and 1-0 to Barcelona in their game. And let's just talk about that first half then, really, between PSG and Barca, because being honest, I don't think either side would really kind of complain if they were behind at half time. I don't think PSG can complain that they're behind, because they've had dominant periods, they've had opportunities, they've had chances to break down this Barca defence and had chances to take the lead. And in their spell of dominance, PSG, that they had in the first 25 minutes, they couldn't find that. They were finding the better of it. They were winning those first balls, those second balls from Barca's long kicks. They were winning the midfield battle, PSG. The one thing they just couldn't do was find the back of the net. And I think Kylian Mbappe's been well marshalled so far tonight from the Barcelona defence, to be fair to them. Then when Barcelona came in to have their spell, they were looking more threatening, they were causing a few more problems, a few corners, a few opportunities. PSG had to clear one off the line as well. And I said in those moments when Barca were threatening, when we're causing issues, PSG look nervy here in moments here. They just don't look kind of confident in their defensive ability. And it's kind of come to pass really in that first half, and I've been proven right, not to brag or anything, but I've been proven right in that front that Gigi Donnarumma, Gianluigi Donnarumma, the PSG goalkeeper, has looked a few nervy himself on a couple of occasions. He's passed the ball out from the back, given it away a couple of times, looked a bit nervy, being pressed, under pressure. And again this time, lovely ball by Yamal, whipped in, and Donnarumma doesn't know whether to stay or whether to come for it. He ends up committing himself, does get a slight punch on the ball to take it away from Lewandowski, but unfortunately for him, his punch and his kind of connection goes straight to the path of Rafinha, and Donnarumma has no time to get back, leaves an empty net, and a lovely finish by Rafinha to give Barcelona the lead that I have to say they had been pushing for in those moments. So they looked more threatening, Barcelona, in those moments, and they deservedly have the lead at half time. I think, as I mentioned, both sides couldn't complain if they were behind at half time, because it's been an even game, but both sides have had opportunities and chances where they could have found themselves either in front or behind in that first half. So definitely indeed a fair result, I would say, a fair scoreline, say, at half time, but I wouldn't say PSG are dead and buried, far from it. And a second half period of dominance could see them back in the game very easily. One thing they don't want to do, though, is go further behind PSG and find themselves having a deficit to take to Barcelona next week, which is certainly wouldn't be a good idea, and certainly wouldn't be a good thing for them to do. They certainly want to avoid that, PSG, at any cost, if they can this evening. Of course, Luis Enrique, all that talk just before the second half gets underway, of course, meeting his former side tonight. And he will look to become the first manager of a French club to win his first 3 Champions League knockout matches since Laurent Blanc in 2013-14, after the two last 16 wins over La Real, of course, Real Sociedad, of course, for PSG. So that will be a good target, but of course he's behind, his side behind at the moment. And Barcelona enjoyed a rest at the weekend, of course, with their last starting at 1-0 win over Las Palmas at the end of March. So they had a rest at the weekend, could relax themselves, sit back and relax and prepare for this game. And that was their 4th win in a row in all competitions, that win over Las Palmas. And they go into win tonight's game unbeaten in 11 straight matches, Barca. So strong form to take into this quarter-final stage at this moment in time. One thing to talk about, these two sides have met 12 times previously in the Champions League, with the head-to-head record perfectly balanced. 4 wins each, 4 draws, yet some of those have been more memorable than others, of course, and we'll talk about those memorable moments, but fairly, pretty much even either way. 4 wins, 4 draws between those 12 games between the sides over their 12 Champions League meetings in history. Right, the second half from Paris, where PSG found themselves behind at half-time against Barcelona, is on the way next. Do stay with us.
Catch me if I fall.
Welcome back to Champions League Live, the second half from Paris on the way next. But don't forget, we're back in action next midweek as well for the second legs of these quarter-final ties. These two games tonight, Atletico against Dortmund and PSG Barcelona, the second legs next Tuesday night. Real Madrid, Man City and Bayern Munich, Arsenal, their second legs are next Wednesday night, the second legs of the quarter-finals, next Tuesday and Wednesday here on LFS. Right, the second half on the way in a second as both sets of players returning to the field in both games tonight. Fairly kind of balanced on that front. I think Atletico Dortmund is maybe a minute or two behind us in terms of that front of starting their second half, which will get underway in a few moments. Don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. Great to have you with us this evening in this Champions League night, the second of two Champions League nights here on LFS, the second of three European nights here. We end our European midweek action tomorrow night at Anfield between Liverpool and Atalanta as well. Second half's on the way for you. As Barcelona returning to the field, I think PSG have made a half-time change as well, which will be one to keep an eye on. Just going to tell you about it now. It's Marco Asensio who's come off, and Barcola has come on in his place. So Barcola on and Asensio off for PSG. So Luis Enrique not happy with Marco Asensio's output in that first half and has made the switch at the break, which he hasn't staved away from doing this season. He's been very kind of open-ended about that. He's been very kind of strong and kind of not afraid to shy away from making half-time changes this season. Luis Enrique. Second half underway then in Paris with Enrique's side looking to come back into this one from a losing position. So second half comeback needed from PSG if they want to take advantage to go to Barca next week, to Barcelona. Next Tuesday nights. Quick turnaround for both teams, of course. Barca did enjoy that bit of a break, but that bit of a rest at the weekend, but I'm sure it'll not get much easier. They'll not stave it off for too long as PSG trying to force an early counter-attack there, but nicely blocked off that time and won back by Barca. Frenkie de Jong in midfield there, recovering for the the visiting side there for the moment. Second half underway in the Wanda Metropolitano. Just underway the second half there. Atletico leading Borussia Dortmund by 2-0. Right, okay. Here is Beraldo for PSG. To Mendes, back to Lucas Beraldo. And Bradley Barcola, as I mentioned, coming on for Marco Asensio at half-time. Here's Beraldo again to Marquinhos in centre back. Vitinha. Tighter spaces in the middle there. Barca trying to crowd out that midfield. Here's Mbappe. Nice give and go with Vitinha. Mbappe charging down the left. Vitinha laying it off. Vitinha with a shot. And that's over the bar by Vitinha. And Mbappe not amused because he wanted the ball back down the left. He broke past Jules Koundé. Had time and space. And Vitinha just did not take that option and wanted to go himself, and from what I've seen there, he probably should have gone against that and passed it off to Mbappe because that shot was left a lot to be desired, really. There, that shot from Vitinha from distance. Marquinhos with a battle. Vitinha again with a challenge in midfield. Good work by Marquinhos. Lays it off to Fabian Ruiz. Now Dembele. Dembele and Mbappe with a cutback. Araujo to clear it. Dembele chops back onto his left. Dembele! What a cracking finish! Ousmane Dembele on the left-hand side. Unstoppable for Marc-Andre ter Stegen. And PSG find the parity again. inside a couple of minutes to the start of the second half, and the Parisians are on level terms. PSG 1, Barcelona 1, and they back the pass has lit up once again. Wonderful finish from Ousmane Dembele. Has been occupying that right wing all night, but gets an opportunity on the left, takes it on his left boot, and absolutely fires it past Ter Stegen in the Barca goal. No chance for him. Araujo with the clearance, and it's just taken by Roberto. Tries to clear it away. It bounces towards Dembele. And Dembele takes a touch with his right, chops back onto his left, and absolutely unleashes a rocket up into the roof of the net, past Ter Stegen. An unstoppable finish for the Barca keeper to try and keep out. And a lovely, lovely goal by Ousmane Dembele. But a perfect start to the second half for Luis Enrique's side. PSG 1, Barcelona 1. Absolutely perfect start for the home side. Absolutely sensational finish by Dembele. And that will get the crowd going. Not that they've been quiet tonight. They've been, despite PSG being behind, they've still been a noisy crowd, as they always are. They back the pass. And that is Ousmane Dembele's first Champions League goal this season. In his 8th start this season. It is his first goal for PSG in the Champions League this campaign. Had a few assists, but no goals. That was his first. And what a way to open your account for the campaign. Here's Lee. Ruiz through the lines. Lovely work. Vitinha! They've turned it around. Vitinha with a nice cute finish. And that is how you turn a game on its head. Vitinha to put PSG in front. Again, nice intricate football. And Robert Lewandowski looks on in disbelief. What a perfect start to the second half. PSG absolutely flying out of the traps. And have turned this game on its head. Nice work down the right hand side. Again, it's Lee on the right flank. Takes his man with him. Cuts it back for Ruiz, who's unmarked. A lovely through ball to Vitinha, who makes the run into the box. No one on track. And Vitinha with a nice right-footed finish past Ter Stegen into the far right side netting to find a second for PSG. And a quick paced turnaround. Absolutely sensational. PSG 2, Barcelona 0. What a start to this second 45. And Vitinha, the man to completely flip the game on its head inside a few minutes. A matter of minutes for PSG in this second half. And they now have a 2-1 lead. Absolutely sensational stuff. PSG 2, Barcelona 1 inside the Parc des Princes. Wonderful. Vitinha, it's his first Champions League goal of the season as well. As Barcelona now trying to bounce back, and Lewandowski header straight back into the mix. Didn't head it towards goal. Yamal keeps it alive. Gundogan. Now Koundé, but beaten off the ball. But Koundé does sneak in to nick it back to De Jong. And now all the pressure on Barcelona as PSG look firing. But lovely turn of pace by Roberto. Out to the left finds Cancelo. Cancelo with a delivery, but too deep. Floated towards the back post, but no one there. And nowhere near anyone really in there to try and find a header towards goal. And has simply dealt with one right the way through the middle for a goal kick to PSG. Wowee. Perfect start. Incredible. Incredible. The Champions League. Sensational. Second half. Fire in form. Xavi is the man in kind of relative shock, I would say, on the sidelines. His side have been sucker punched at the start of this second half by Paris Saint-Germain. They've come outside absolutely flying out of the traps, bursting their way into this second half with an absolute pummeling of pace, and have absolutely caught to coin a very popular phrase, they've caught Barcelona napping, really. And Barcelona, from a 1-0 lead, find themselves 2-1 down, and I said it's far from over at half-time. PSG work their way back into the game, and they take their chances. They can have the threat, because they've had chances, they've created opportunities in a dominant period in that first half. But I mentioned it, they just couldn't find the finish. They just didn't really have that clinical edge in the first half, but they certainly have found it somehow at half-time, and they are delivering upon that in the second half so far. Good pressure by Yamal there to win Barcelona the throw-in on the right-hand side. Goal in the Championship, Swansea have doubled their lead against Stoke in their respective games. They lead by 2-0 now in their game. Matt Grimes with the goal to double Swansea's lead. Good win back again by PSG. Here's Lee, and they're on the break here. Here's Barcola. Barcola himself! And Ter Stegen pings it off the crossbar and over the bar. And it will be a corner. Barcola with a burst of pace down the right-hand side. Takes it onto his right, trying to use pace behind it. And it's lifted up. Ter Stegen does get a slight touch to it. Bounces off the crossbar and over the bar for a corner. Goodness me. All of the PSG attackers found their shooting boots at half-time, and Barcola only on at half-time, making an impact. PSG have a corner, left-hand side. Taken short this time. Dembele will hit it off a Barcelona player in Rafinha and will win another corner. Taken short again by Lee, finds Dembele. Back to Vitinha now. Has to go all the way back to Nuno Mendes. As PSG look to come down the right-hand side now with Bradley Barcola. 1-2 touch, and tried to get the return ball from Fabian Ruiz, but Ter Stegen was quick to that and got the catch on the ball. Talked about Barca's unbeaten run. 11 games without defeat. 4 wins on the bounce. PSG on an unbeaten run themselves. An incredible but unbeaten run. Unbeaten. Listen to this. PSG haven't lost a game. Actually, I'll talk about that in a moment as PSG have won it back here. Barcola again. Lee. Finds space here for Fabian Ruiz, who has a shot blocked on the edge of the box there. He had Dembele down his left with an option, but Ruiz saw the space and saw his name in lights, but they quickly ran out of electricity fairly quickly because the shot was pretty tame and easily blocked by Barcelona. But PSG trying to go for those shots a bit earlier. Few early shots we've seen, shooting on side it seems, PSG at the moment. Dembele, lovely take down, finds Mbappe, Mendes in the middle, and Mbappe trying to weave his way through, but blocked off by Araujo and out for another PSG corner. As I was saying, PSG 27 games without defeat. Their last defeat was on the 7th of November of 2023 in a 2-1 Champions League group stage defeat to AC Milan. And Rafael Leao and Olivier Giroud with the goals in that night. Milan Skriniar put PSG ahead, but that was their last defeat. The corner comes all the way in and all the way through from Lee there. And out for the throw in on the far side. Again, Barcelona look a bit not firmly to grips with it. PSG actually dropped points at the weekend, remember, in their game against Clermont Foot. They actually had to get a late equaliser from Gonzalo Ramos to level things after 85 minutes, after Clermont Foot had actually taken the lead. Habib Keita with the goal PSG dominated that game and could have actually lost that game, of course, to bottom of the league Clermont Foot, but came back and rescued a point out of that one. 18 wins, 9 draws, just a 1 league defeat this season, PSG. In Ligue 1. To say they're dominating the league would be an understatement. Here's Mbappe. Now Mendes. Blocked off that time by Roberto. Lovely tick down in the middle by Luca Hernandez. Vitinha. Now Lee. Out to Barcola. On the right. Back to Vitinha again. Down the right hand side is Lee. All the way back to Hernandez again for PSG here. Calm in possession. And what I've also noticed in that first half, I think they've swapped it at the back as well, PSG. They're kind of in possession. They've kind of this makeshift back three. And what they did is they had Marquinhos more on the right hand side of a back three and Luca Hernandez through the middle. They've actually swapped the two. Marquinhos through the middle, Hernandez on the right. That's what I thought it would be from kickoff, but they chose to swap it about in the first half, and they've swapped it back now in this second half. So Hernandez a bit more on the right, Marquinhos building from the back through the middle of a back three, which I think works better because Marquinhos better to build from the back. If they want to build from the back, I think Marquinhos is a better man to do that, a better player to do that, to feed the balls through the middle, rather than Hernandez, who's better from the wider areas. Naturally a fullback or a wing-back can drop in to play a kind of in a back three, kind of makeshift, and I don't think playing him at a centre-back in a back three is a pretty good option. Right centre-back maybe a bit better, and we've seen that improvement from PSG's defence so far. Substitution for PSG then. They made a change at half-time. They're going to make another change here. Lee Kang-in is coming off. He's going to be replaced by Zaire Emery. And João Felix is coming on for Barcelona. He's going to replace Lamine Yamal. And the second substitution for Barcelona is Sergio Roberto, who will miss the second leg, of course. He's coming off, and he's going to be replaced by Pedri, who will take his place in midfield. So a couple of changes for both sides. PSG the one, Barcelona a double change there. So Lee off for PSG, replaced in the middle there by Warren Zaire Emery. And the double substitution for Barcelona there coming as Lamine Yamal and Sergio Roberto, replaced in the middle by João Felix and Pedri. 29 minutes plus additional time to go in this first leg here in Paris. And it is PSG 2, Barcelona 1. Barca took the lead through Rafinha. And PSG with 2 goals in quick succession in the second half. From Dembele and Vitinha. Oh, goal! What a finish by Rafinha! Goodness me, from nothing. Barca are level. Rafinha again. I'm completely stunned because I have no idea what's happened. From nowhere, Barca have pinged the ball forward, and Rafinha with a lovely finish into the bottom left corner has Barca back on level terms. See this again. It's a kick again. Gigi Donnarumma with a kick. Barca pick it up with the Cancelo through the middle. Pedri with an absolute cracker of a ball over the top. Cute as you like. Rafinha with the ball. And what a connection. Over his shoulder. Comes through it with his left boot. First time finish. Rafinha, take a bye, because that's a wonderful finish. And he's levelled this game. And Rafinha, Barca's biggest attacking threat tonight. And he's got both goals. Wonderful from Rafinha. And he levels the game again. 2-2. And Pedri with an absolute pinger of a ball over the top. Sensational. One of his first touches in the game. And what a pass it was. What a finish it was. But it all comes again from Donnarumma's poor kick. How many times have I said it? Poor kick out from the back from Donnarumma. Goes along, gifts the ball back to Barca, and they come on, and credit to them. Barca, they took their opportunity, and they're back level. What a game. 2-2. And these two sides want to one-up my game from last night, Arsenal against Bayern, which ended 2-2. I think with 27 minutes to go, you would be a fool to say there won't be any more goals in this one. But wonderful stuff in the Champions League. And Mbappe just offside there. The Champions League, I mean, I've said it so many times, but it always delivers. Incredible. The only side that hasn't scored at least 2 goals out of the 8 quarter-finalists over these 2 nights is Dortmund, who have failed to score at all tonight. Arsenal 2 goals, Bayern Munich 2 goals, PSG 2 goals, Barcelona 2 goals, Atletico Madrid 2 goals, Real Madrid 3 goals, Manchester City 3 goals. Incredible stuff. 16 goals over these 4 games, over these 2 nights, in 4 games. That's averaging 4 goals a game. And we still have another quarter of both of these 2 games tonight to come. Absolutely wonderful. Yellow card handed out there for Vitinha with a high boot against João Felix. So Vitinha in the book. The first PSG player to be booked tonight. Sergio Roberto, the only other player on the pitch in the referee's book. So Vitinha with the yellow card. Well, Rafinha now on a hat-trick tonight. He's never scored a senior hat-trick before. He's only 1 goal away from that. Lighting up Paris. No need for the Eiffel Tower. Rafinha is lighting up Paris tonight. And absolutely sensationally so. Here they come again. Felix cuts it back. Oh, good covering there. Good work by Nuno Mendes to cover over for PSG because they looked really vulnerable there. The cutback from Felix blocked off. Dembele. Now Barcola. In behind. Lovely touch by Zaire Emery. Looking to return it back to Dembele, but cut out that time. Here's Pedri to get Barca forward. Now Lewandowski. Rafinha. Unstoppable again. Running through bodies. Comes back to Gundogan now. This game could go either way at this stage. Either team could take this victory tonight. No clue who. It's been even all night, let's be honest. Both of these sides have been fairly threatening. And wonderfully, we've seen another goals galore affair in the Champions League tonight. And we're not done yet. Just update you from the Championship. Bristol City have absolutely destroyed Blackburn in that game. 2 goals in the second half. Anis Mehmeti and a penalty from Naki Wells has Bristol City 4-0 up against Blackburn. Cardiff have taken the lead against Birmingham at St Andrews. Josh Bowler with the goals, with Birmingham not seeing themselves out of the bottom 3 tonight. They would if they draw that game, but a defeat would see them second bottom in the Championship. Ipswich 0, Watford 0. Ipswich at the moment failing to take advantage of Leicester and Leeds' droppage of points last night. They're dropping points themselves in a goalless draw at the moment against Watford. Ipswich would go top tonight with a win. Hull currently doing that. They're winning against Middlesbrough 2-1. Swansea 2-0 up against Stoke, and the same scoreline between West Brom and Rotherham. West Brom leading by 2-0. Right, here's João Cancelo for Barcelona. Down the line and just a bit heavy. That pass to João Felix goes out for a PSG throw. Wonderful how there's another quarter of this game to go. Another 22.5 minutes plus additional time to go. And we've seen a wonderful affair. 4 very good goals tonight. Probably fantastic goals. Top tier Champions League football tonight. Here's Rafinha again. For Barca, clipped at the heels there was Robert Lewandowski by Vitinha. And he's on a yellow card. Barcelona are making the claim, could it be a second, but it's not going to be, from Anthony Taylor, who's having none of it. Yeah. I mean, minimal, but he does kind of clip Lewandowski, so it is a free kick. They now have a chance to either whip a ball in or go direct from goal. It's fair distance for Rafinha to try and... Well, Rafinha's just kissed the ball as he puts it on the floor. João Felix and Ilkay Gundogan around it as well for Barca. It's a good distance out here. If I can get the wide angle, I can tell you how many yards it is out. It is about 28 yards. It's 26 metres. About 28 yards, I would say, in comparison. Anthony Taylor just setting up the free kick, making sure all is okay before this can be taken. Rafinha seems to be the favourite for it to take it at the moment. Donnarumma's not happy with his wall. He's trying to scramble to get them all organised. What can they do from this, Barcelona? Rafinha, left-footed, strike straight at Donnarumma, who held on to a firm one. Nice strike by Rafinha, gets it around the wall fairly easily. No real stoppage from the wall. The ball was pretty useless there. And the strike straight at Donnarumma, who gathered. Rafinha, as I mentioned, on that hat-trick. Gets another goal. He will get his first senior hat-trick this evening. But a nice run. Here's Barcola in behind for PSG. Barcola! What a block by Araujo on the cover. Fabulous. Barcola with a lovely run in behind, but great recovery from Araujo to deny him. One-on-one with Ter Stegen, and Araujo with the recovery pace of a cheetah to get in the way of that one. Sensational. Both teams battling. Both teams putting their bodies on the line. And to the final 20 minutes here in the Parc des Princes. Dembele. Now Mbappe. Mbappe again, beaten to it. Koundé with a breakaway, and then Pedri knows the challenge is coming and wins Barcelona the free kick. Have to say, I mean, you can wax lyrical all you want about Kylian Mbappe and how amazing he is and the quality he has. Tonight, he's not been anywhere near his best. Two shots tonight. One off target, one blocked. No shots on target for Mbappe this evening after 71 minutes. Fairly disappointing so far, but the best strikers are there when you need them. And if PSG are going to go and try and win this, we'll probably need Mbappe to step up. They do have a lot of threat though. And in any case, if they need a winner, which at the moment they do, Emery. As our Emery tried to go down the line to Barcola, but the flag goes up against Barcola there. Made the run just slightly too early. Goals to tell you about in the Championship. It is back level pegging between Hull and Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough have just got themselves back on level terms, 2-2 in that one. Swansea have further extended their lead over Stoke. They're now 3-0 up. Josh Key with the goal for Swansea. Middlesbrough back on level terms, as I said, just scored that goal in the 71st minute. And the goal scorer Finn Azaz to level things for Michael Carrick's side at the MKM Stadium. So 2-2 between Hull and Middlesbrough as well. 2-2 as it is here in Paris between PSG and Barcelona. Barcola. Luke Hernandez to Marquinhos. Right to the left-hand side to Vitinha. Ruiz. PSG popping it about. Back to Marquinhos. Going down the right-hand side. Finds Barcola in a bit of space. Won't take his man on. Cuts it back for Ruiz, who tries to reverse it in behind for the Mbappe run. but blocked off, and now Barca on the break themselves. Rafinha, here's in behind, here's Rafinha, breaks into the box, trying to eke a bit of space, blocked off that time, but Pedri keeps it alive. Rafinha plays it across, Felix with his shots from distance, but a curler to try and find the bottom corner is blocked off by Donnarumma, who makes the save pretty comfortably from the João Felix shot there. You think every time Rafinha comes forward he's going to try and go for goal. Mendes infield to Ruiz. Now Dembele to Mbappe. Back infield to Fabian Ruiz, who heavy touch there, and came bombing in was Gundogan, but again PSG are through. Oh, and he's hit the post. Dembele hits the right upright and goes wide. Just as Barca thought they'd recovered it, nice work by Vitinha. Keeps it alive, threads it through for Dembele, who tries to find the bottom right corner. Far corner with the inside of his right boot. It beat Ter Stegen, but it didn't beat the post. Came back off the post and wide. And the woodwork denying Ousmane Dembele his second goal tonight, and would have been his second Champions League goal of the season. They're going to make a change here. Barcelona, we're going to make a double change actually. Andreas Christensen's going to come onto the pitch. He's going to replace Frankie de Jong. And Rafinha won't get the chance tonight to get his first ever senior hat-trick. He's got 2 goals, which has got Barca on level terms. Here at the moment, he's going to be replaced by Ferran Torres, who's coming on for Barca. So another double change. Christensen on for de Jong, and Torres coming on for Rafinha for Barcelona from the bench. What a wonderful night for Rafinha. It was absolutely electric for Barcelona tonight. 2 goals, 4 shots on target tonight. 40 touches, which is some impact with those minimal amount of touches. 3 key passes. Incredible. Oh, again, Felix with a cross, and Nuno Mendes under pressure again. Nice cross by Felix, and it's Ferran Torres in the middle, and Nuno Mendes just has to try and adjust and put it behind for the corner. PSG again looked open there at the back, and Barca almost taking advantage. They do have a corner now, the visitors, on the left hand side. Bodies in the box. Gundogan to take the corner, right-footed, from onto the front post, headed on and in. Andreas Christensen, not long onto the pitch, and probably his first touch of the game, gives Barca the lead once again. Andreas Christensen with a lovely header into the ground, beat Donnarumma, and Barcelona and those away fans are going mad. Barca lead again in the Parc des Princes. Really good corner by Ilkay Gundogan. Drifted across goal into the centre of the 6-yard box, and up and winning it was Andreas Christensen, heading it down onto the ground. No chance for Donnarumma, and into the back of the PSG net. And from leading 2-1 PSG to start the second half, they now head into the final 12 minutes, trailing once again. It is PSG 2, Barcelona 3. And wow. Absolutely incredible. And PSG's defence has looked frail all night. And Barcelona taking their opportunities and opening it up time and time again. Luis Enrique can only look on in despair that his side have gone behind again, but this time from a lead, from an advantage, from a winning position. PSG have found themselves now trailing once again. That's the similar idea, the similar diagnosis of PSG in the Champions League. When they come up against the big sides, the threatening sides, the toughest of tough oppositions, they never do the business. They very rarely do the business. The quality they have, but this has been an absolute cracking game. Another Champions League classic between these two. Here's Luca Hernandez. Barcola. To Vitinha. And PSG could have found themselves ahead a few moments ago as well. Ousmane Dembele hitting the post, which could have put them 3-2 up. So, fine margins in the Champions League. Vitinha. Now Barcola on the right-hand side. PSG on the attack again. Ball comes into the box, drops for Mbappe. Trying to work the space. Ruiz has a shot blocked off. And now Gundogan to try and get them on the counter for Barca. Lovely hold-up work from Gundogan to keep it alive for Barcelona. Christensen lays it off to Felix. Now Cancelo back to João Felix. And Andreas Christensen back towards Ter Stegen, who goes long. But no one making that run in behind for Barcelona, so the ball will head back towards Gigi Donnarumma. Fairly quiet second half in Madrid this evening. Both goals in that game coming in the first half. Rodrigo de Paul and Samuel Lino giving Atletico Madrid a 2-goal lead against Borussia Dortmund. A very quiet second half on that front in terms of goal-mouth action. Probably Dortmund have probably had the better of the action in the second half, but neither side able to find the net in the second period. And I would say Atletico just sitting a bit deeper and kind of allowing the pressure at the moment, soaking up the pressure from Dortmund and trying to see out this lead to try and take to Dortmund next week. And we will see what the late stages of the game have in store for us there. Here though, 10 minutes to go. PSG 2, Barcelona 3. Andreas Christensen, the man whose goal separates the two sides at the moment in a fairly even affair here in Paris between these two. Very little to separate them, but Andreas Christensen's goal is doing that at the moment with 10 minutes to go. An advantage for Barca to take back to Barcelona for next week's second leg. Just keep you updated with the games in the Championship. Still all the same in and around those games. Cardiff leading Birmingham by a goal to nil. Bristol City 4-0 up against Blackburn. 0-0 between Ipswich and Watford, and that's coming to the latter stages into the 90-plus minutes. Hull 2, Middlesbrough 2, Swansea 3-0 up against Stoke, and West Brom 2-0 up against Rotherham. Right, here's Cancelo for Barcelona. On the left, blocked off that time nicely by Vitinha. Look at Hernandez trying to come forward. There will be a free kick with a foul on Barcola. So a free kick to PSG, and a yellow card has been brandished here by Anthony Taylor, the referee, given to the Barcelona player. Pau Cubarsí, who gets the booking. So Cubarsí in the book for Barcelona. He's done a wonderful job defensively so far tonight. Cubarsí in that Barca defence. 17 years of age. Some pressure to come into a big Champions League game like this tonight, Cubarsí, and do business. And he's done it outstandingly well at the back for the visitors tonight. Still time though for that to change. Here's Zaire Emery. Runs away, back to Barcola. Vitinha trying to keep it alive for PSG. We have a goal in Madrid. We'll tell you about that in a moment. As PSG on the attack. Here's Ruiz. Again another shot from distance blocked. Vitinha keeps it alive. It was Pedri that made that block that time on the PSG attack. Goal, as I mentioned, in Madrid. Just as I was saying that Atletico were kind of soaking up the pressure from Dortmund, who'd probably had the better of it in the second half. Well, they find the breakthrough tonight, Dortmund, and they're back in the game. Atletico Madrid 2, Dortmund 1. Sebastian Aller with the goal to get Dortmund back into the game. And it's never an easy run in the Champions League. Always something late to be said. And Sebastian Aller trying to have the late say for Dortmund in Madrid tonight. 2-1. Ruiz. Beraldo. To Mendes, back to Vitinha. In midfield. Zaire-Emery working through the pockets. In between the lines. Vitinha on the left. Now Dembele looking for the hoof over the top, but behind for a goal kick. Referee Anthony Taylor giving a goal kick. VAR might be looking at something here, maybe. Maybe a possible foul in the box. There is an entanglement between Vitinha and... couldn't see who that was. But I don't think there's anything in that for me. And the check is complete, so no penalty. Five minutes to go in Paris, and they're going to make changes again. Both sides are going to make late changes. Here, let me just tell you about those. Ilkay Gundogan is coming off. He's going to be replaced. PSG are going to make a change as well. Gonzalo Ramos is coming on. Got the late equaliser for PSG at the weekend against Clermont Foot here. We'll try and do the same here tonight. Fabian Ruiz has made way for Ramos this evening. And Barca's fifth and final change. Ilkay Gundogan off and replaced by... apologies, I can't find the name. Fermin Lopez. Apologies. Fermin Lopez has come on for Ilkay Gundogan. So, changes for both sides there. Final whistles going around the championship games. Bristol City 5-0 winners against Blackburn. Easy work of Blackburn tonight made Bristol City. And Ipswich 0, Watford 0. Ipswich failed to take advantage of Leeds and Leicester dropping points, and they've dropped points themselves. They could have went top with a win, but only go back to second with a draw tonight. 0-0 at Portman Road. And Cardiff 1, Birmingham 0 is a final score. Birmingham beaten at home tonight. A draw would have taken them out of the bottom three, but they've fall to defeat to Cardiff City, and it finishes with Birmingham in the bottom three at the end of this evening, no matter what. PSG on the press, looking for an equaliser. Dembele's cross just too high for Mbappe, who was in space in the box, but couldn't leap for it high enough there, Kylian Mbappe. I mean, he's miles offside. Don't know why he's leaping for it. He's miles off there, Mbappe. So even if he had found the net, he would have been offside. So no damage done in the end there. Ter Stegen to take the goal kick for Barca. Lewandowski up for the battles to win their aerial duels, but he can't win at that time. Zaire-Emery, lovely touch to get PSG on the break and taken down there, and he'll get the free kick, and a yellow card will come the way of Andreas Christensen, who will also, alongside his captain, Sergio Roberto, Andreas Christensen will miss the second leg alongside Sergio Roberto, who both booked for Barca tonight, and both will not take action. Both will not be available for the second leg in Barcelona next week. Oh, Barca on the counter there. And another yellow card's been brandished here. Absolutely no apologies. Jules Koundé absolutely clattered from the counter-attack. Just to see the replay of it again, see who it was. Lucas Beraldo, the man booked for that challenge. Fermin Lopez has just been booked as well for complaining to the referee, so a double yellow card there for referee Anthony Taylor. Fermin Lopez and Lucas Beraldo joining fellow players in the book of Anthony Taylor tonight. 90 seconds of the 90 minutes to go inside the Parc des Princes. Barcelona leading by 3-2 with a free kick laid on. Flicked on by Lewandowski, brought down in the box. Lopez battling. But again, they cannot get a firm grip on it there, Barcelona, as Zaire Emery tries to fire it forward. Intercepted by Koundé. Fun says in the chat, hi FLS, thoughts on Saka pen call last night. I don't think it was a penalty. I think the referee got it completely correct. I think Saka initiated the contact, and I don't think it was a foul. Last night, I don't know what all the drama was about, and I said that late in the game, just at the final whistle. Here come PSG. Here's Barcola. Barcola with a cutback. Again blocked off by Barcelona in the box as they clear their lines. And will look to add to their advantage maybe later on, but I'm sure they'll take the 3-2 win without a doubt. On the road, Barcelona, but PSG looking to do what they did against Clermont Foot at the weekend and trail by 1 goal and score later on. The man that scored the late equaliser, Gonzalo Ramos, is on the pitch tonight. He's just come onto the pitch not too long ago. 90 minutes are up, and the 4 added minutes on to the end of them. 4 more minutes for PSG to rescue a draw here in the first leg. Mendes with a cross, cleared away comfortably again by Araujo. Mbappe battling. Edge of the box, away by Kubasi again for Barcelona. Fun says, I personally think it was from where he was trying to dodge Neuer, but to be fair, it was a hard decision to make. With whatever he does, there will always be controversy. Of course. Indeed. No doubts about that. But to be fair, at times, I don't think Arsenal were at their best last night, so I don't think they can really complain that they didn't win that game, because I don't think they were on their top form, and Bayern Munich did a very good job of threatening them on the break last night. Here's Dembele for PSG. Cross to Ramos. Zaire Emery now. Vitinha. Out to the left. Again. Vitinha to win it back, but Barcelona clearing their lines again from that earlier cross. But it's PSG pressure in Paris. Dembele with the ball over the top, and Ramos went down in the box, but referee said no. And I would agree, Ter Stegen with a comfortable save. Late stages, of course, in the game in Madrid as well. Atletico 2, Dortmund 1 in their game. Not too sure about additional time at the moment, but they're into additional time there. Here's Mbappe! Oh, just wide. Took a deflection. Will be a corner. Mbappe from distance there. Right-footed. And Araujo with the block. Gets a deflection, takes it wide. Corner for PSG later on here. Around about 1 minute and 40 seconds to go. Will they do it? Will they have the late goal? Corner whipped in. Pretty tame. Pretty disappointing from Ousmane Dembele, to be fair. Straight into the hands of Ter Stegen in the Barca goal. Long ball. Barca on the break again. Forward. Try and keep it forward. Got it back into the box. Lewandowski keeps it alive. Gets to the byline. Cuts it back. Torres with a cross. Too much for anyone in there. Battling for Barca to keep it at that end of the pitch. Will go out for a PSG throw-in though. Last minute of the 94. Of 4 added minutes, and PSG trying to fire themselves forward. But they've given it away. Lewandowski now. Wide to Koundé. Back to Lewandowski. Cross, trying to link it up with Torres. Lewandowski again. As long as Barca keep it at this end of the pitch, should see this out. Koundé. No rush. Goes back to Araujo, and seconds just remain. And it looks like they will take that 1-goal advantage to Barcelona next week. The visiting side tonight. A huge, huge performance. A huge, huge result that will be for Barcelona. And there is the full-time whistle from Anthony Taylor, who calls to an end a fairly even affair on the night here in Paris. But Barcelona nick a goal later on to turn the game on its head once again and to take a lead into the second leg in 6 days' time. PSG, who came out flying out of the traps in the second half. 2 quick goals from Dembele and Vitinha to give them a 2-1 lead. A lovely goal by Rafinha either side of those to give Barca the lead and to get them back on level terms in the second half. And a nice finish with a header from a corner from Andres Christensen from the corner to give Barca the goal that deemed to be the winner in the end. Luis Enrique's side went behind, took the lead, and find themselves on the face of defeat at home again for only the 8th time in over 74 Champions League home matches. They lost the first leg here in the quarterfinal last season. They've lost it again this season. Final score from Paris, PSG 2, Barcelona 3. Wow, wait. Into the last few seconds, 5 added minutes in Madrid as well. Late drama, Madrid 2, Borussia Dortmund 1 in that one. Is there one last opportunity? Dortmund trailing going into the second leg. They'll have a deficit to try and overturn for their second leg against Atletico. It's a bit better than what it was initially earlier in the game, as Atletico Madrid looked to take a 2-goal lead, but at the moment it is 2-1, and they've surpassed the 95-minute mark, so just awaiting on the final whistle in that one, and then we will recap the final scores for you tonight. Just awaiting on the final whistle in Madrid, as Dortmund on the attack again, maybe hoping for a last-minute equaliser to rescue something, rescue parity from the game in Madrid this week. Still waiting for that final whistle. Dortmund again with a throw in high up on the right hand side, and there's the final whistle. So full time in Madrid as well this evening. The final whistle goes, and Madrid did hold on in time. Atletico to get the lead to take to Dortmund next week. What a set of Champions League first legs from the quarterfinals we've seen over these last 2 nights, and let's just recap them for you. All the final scores are confirmed, and what a night, 2 nights of Champions League action. Here are the final scores. So in last night's action, Arsenal 2, Bayern Munich 2, Real Madrid 3, Manchester City 3, and in tonight's action, Atletico Madrid 2, Borussia Dortmund 1, Paris Saint-Germain 2, Barcelona 3. So 2 draws and 2 narrow leads for 2 Spanish sides to take into the second legs next week. Jobs to do for all 8 teams. It's just how we like it in the Champions League. You cannot call which 4 of these 8 teams will go through to the semi-finals. One thing is for sure, the second legs, which take place next Tuesday and Wednesday, will certainly be set up for barnstorming sets of 90 minutes. Incredible first sets of first legs, and the second legs, I'm sure, will be exactly the same. Blockbuster football in the Champions League once again. And tonight, another 5-goal thriller here in Paris as PSG fall to defeat on their home turf for only the 8th time in 74 home knockout games in the Champions League. Final score from Paris is 3-2. And we'll be back next midweek for more Champions League action. But for now, have a good night. Night night.